CBR TV. I'm Jonah Weiland in our Tiki Room at WonderCon in Los Angeles. Things to my right is fantastic voice actor, Greg Cipes.
Aloha.
He's fantastic. And I'm to tell you why he's fantastic in a second, because I'm going to start with a story.
Okay.
So at ComicCon International last year, I moderated your panel, which basically means I get out of the way as much as possible and just try to keep the traffic flowing, which is not a problem when it comes to you and Kari Randolph in the same room together. Mm-hmm. So you guys put on an impromptu concert. You remember that concert? You got up on top of a table.
Yeah.
You got up on top of a table. Tell the people what you did, and then I'll tell you what happened.
Well, there's a song that I wrote for Beast Boys singing a song to Raven, and it's called BB Ray.
Yeah.
And the cats at Warner Brothers let me kind of give a sneak peek of the song and perform it live at the con, and yeah, I went for it.
You went for it. This guy was incredible, and I wish we had video. I actually have some behind-the-scenes video that maybe we could cut in here.
Yeah.
But you went for it. He was up on top of tables, jumping up and down. The whole room was hopping. There was about 2,000 people in that room, and you had them all in your hands.
Oh, thank you. It was nerve-wracking because, I mean, I'm a performer, and I love performing music and all that stuff, but I just kind of like, I winged it. And I just went for it, and I was ripping off my clothes because I was getting hot. It was fun.
It was a great moment. The audience was eating it up, and I left stage because, like, okay, I got to get out of Greg's way.
It was
here.
just me in a hot dog costume.
It was fantastic. I think Kara was still there a little bit, maybe, and like kind of hanging out.
Yeah.
But so you're jumping all over the place, and I'm off stage, and security comes over to me and goes, "Get him off that fucking table." I'm like, "I'm not getting Greg off the table. He's in the middle of a thing. Like, you do it." No, you do it. You're the monitor. I was like, I just kept on backing away from them. And you got off the table just as they were about to rush the stage.
I felt it. That's my Jedi skills, my Jedi sense.
I was a little worried about you because you were on top of a stage, on top of a table, and out of control.
It's what I do.
It was beautiful.
It's what I do. I love getting crazy with, performing. I have a band called Super Space Fighters, and that's kind of what I do every time. Is I look forward to losing control.
Now,
and music does that for me. So
does.
BB Ray almost got me there.
But okay, you talk about losing control. Have you ever had
in control?
Okay, you've never had a bad moment where you've fallen off a stage. Or something like that.
Oddly enough, I did. As a youth, as a little boy, I was in a boy band, and it was called 2020, and it was horrible. But I was like 13 years old, and Backstreet Boys, and we had a band called 2020, and we both had one of our eyebrows shaved, and we'd stand together, be 2020 vision, so bad. But he fell off the stage our first performance. Other than that, I've never necessarily been around. I've never hurt myself. I've definitely almost been taken out by guitars. I like to get wild on stage and spin and do crazy things, but so far I'm like intact.
All right.
Yeah.
So now with Teen Titans Go, you're heading into season 4. So this is a 2 or 3 year journey that you've had with this show. What's changed the most since season 1? Because every show, as they go on, they get better chemistry. Of course, you were working with these voice actors before on previous shows.
Yeah.
But in terms of Teen Titans Go, what do you feel has been the biggest change since season 1 and as you're here heading into season 4?
In my opinion, the biggest change since season 1 is, I guess the storylines are just getting crazier and crazier. The writing has definitely become a little tailored to what the actors have brought to it. Like even the way I create new words for Beast Boy to say, and also working with the team and writing songs. I write a lot of songs now that are winding up in the episodes, which is really fun. But I think it's the main difference is, I guess, even more freedom is being allowed, which is awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
You've also at these panels, and I've had the great honor of doing 2 of them with you guys now. The kids who show up in costume are just absolutely amazing. They ask the funniest, cutest questions, and they're funny and cute because they're honest. They're not trying to get it. They're not working an angle with you guys or anything like that. It's so precious. But you've done a lot of these panels, and you've been at a lot of conventions. Do you have like a favorite or top 5 convention experiences or one of those? Could you share one of those with me?
I'd say recently at the New York ComicCon with Cartoon Network, we did a cosplay contest there, and they invited me to come be one of the judges. And for me, I love cosplay. I mean, personally, I didn't really dress up today, but...
I think you got something going on.
Well, this is just the Cipes look. This is the Cipes character. But judging cosplay contests, which we're doing here today, it's definitely one of my favorite, things to do, and one of my favorite experiences is you know, having the kids get to express themselves and see how happy they get, being like, look, I'm Beast Boy or I'm Rob or whatever it is. That brings me the most joy, seeing the audience happy. So like them being able to show us what they've created is the best.
This is going to be a little bit of an odd question, so bear with me here because I'm working through it. You have a childlike quality to you. Did you have the same childlike quality when you were a kid, or is this something that evolved? Were you always kind of like this, and I don't say this in any way a bad way, this kind of hyperactive guy?
I absolutely have always been...
You're hyperactive but laid back at the same time.
I've been allowed to be a kid my whole life. That's the thing. My father always kind of let me have freedom, and he never pushed me to do anything, whether it be school or anything I didn't want to do. He's like, do what you want to do. So I started as a young actor, and I got to play. I got to be in commercials and TV shows, and just kind of I never really had to grow up. And what I found out later on in life is that's the goal of life, is to keep your innocence, keep your childlike, you know, wonderment about life. And for the most part, I look to kids to teach me and remind me to be that all the time. And animals, kids and animals allow me to be this, who I am.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I have friends with a lot of actors who are training and actors, and they all talk about how one of the great things about acting is that you get to play. Yeah. And as adults, we don't get to play, and we lose that wonder, and we lose that sense of freedom, I guess you will, that comes with acting. And it's nice that you get to still experience it. That's
yeah,
good.
And I surround myself with people that, you know, support that.
Yeah.
Support me being who I am. And ultimately, I'm a kid like everyone is, eternally. It's just we've forgotten that's what we are.
Yeah.
You know?
I want to finish with, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I've seen you tweet about, like, you're really into Laurel Canyon, aren't you?
I love Laurel
That's
Canyon.
where you live, right?
We're not
going to give you your address.
Well, that's fine.
Right?
Laurel Canyon is one of the birthplaces of rock and roll. And yeah, I've had a home there, a tree house, in fact, for about 8-9 years now, and I throw a festival up there now. I shut down the street in front of Jim Morrison's old house, and it's called the Love Street Festival, and I'm on my 6th year doing it. And I bring the community together, and I just love throwing parties for the community and bringing everybody together, and I share my vision for how to make the community better. Like, using the water that's running into the gutters from our natural springs, and getting sidewalks back, basically making a difference in the community. And recently I moved to Venice Beach. I go back and forth between the beach and the Hollywood Hills for balance, and I'm also a surfer, so the ocean and the beach is really important to me. And I'm doing the same thing in Venice. I throw monthly events where I bring the community together. Actually, I'm throwing one April 1st at Full Circle Venice, which is an old 1700s church that I rent out, and I throw a big Shabbat family luau dinner. I'm half Jewish, I'm all things, but...
I'm half Jewish too. Together we are a full Jew.
I am Jew and Jew are me. But yeah, I like throwing events to give back to the community and share, you know, basically how I see the world being, and I do it in a little microcosm in within my parties. So it's again, I create a space for people to be like childlike.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check out the Laurel Canyon thing, because for most people in Los Angeles, Laurel Canyon is a place you drive through to get from Hollywood to the Valley.
Well, it's the #1 2-lane travel road in all of the state of California.
Right.
It's crazy. It's something like 90,000 cars a day drive on it, and it's actually the coolest place in Hollywood to live.
I would agree with that. Like that little center in that little town center with all the little
I sat
stores.
there this morning and had a little, coffee and talked to all the weird people. There are amazing people up there. But now, Justin Bieber lives up there. On and on and on. It's like it's the place to live, and that's cool though, because I feel like Laurel Canyon is a place that could show the rest of the world how to live. That's why I throw those festivals up there, to show people, hey, life is a celebration, and we could be doing this not just one day a year, but like every day.
I'm really glad I got to talk to you alone. I always interview you with Kari or maybe Michael Jelenic or something like that, which is always fun, and it gets pretty wacky, but I've never gotten to know Greg, and I feel like I learned a little bit more about you today.
Thank you, my brother.
Greg, it was nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Greg Cipes, I'm Jonah Weiland, and this is CBR TV.
Peace, love, and animals.